we live? Let's check. Oof. Come on. All right. Are we live? We're going live. No drop frames on OBS. That is what I'm using to live stream. YouTube is stating excellent connection. Let's start the credits. Appreciation to El Viejo. In Spanish, that means the old man. Appreciate you. I just want to let you guys know that typically when you send me chats, I don't really read them and answer them during the live stream because I'm so focused on what I am doing during the live stream, right? So I apologize for that. I try to go back and answer whatever questions. Hopefully you guys are able to hear me and see me as well. So what's up? So let's start. So welcome back, guys, to episode 79 of the server room. You saw the title, create multiple AD users using a spreadsheet. We're gonna utilize PowerShell. So let's get right into it. Again, hopefully you guys are able to see me and hear me with no problems. So let's switch to my workstation. I got a nice little virtual environment, and I'm basically doing everything within VMware Workstation. So I have my domain controller, and I have a Windows 11 PC, which is part of the domain controller. I want to do everything here, and the reason why I'm going to do it here, because I typically don't like going into servers to make any type of modifications like that, right? You want to do everything remotely. So like I said, we're going to do some PowerShell. So let's click on Start, and I already have PowerShell ISE already on the taskbar, but let's go to Start here and just type in ISE. We're going to right click on it and run it as an administrator. Cool. Let's click yes here. Awesome. That's going to load up. And like you saw the title, we need to have a spreadsheet. So I already built a spreadsheet behind the scenes. I know I should have done it with you, but that's kind of like one of those things that you should already know how to do. So within the C drive, within BTNHD _temp, I have a folder called users. Hopefully you guys are able to see. Let me just zoom in real quick. Yeah, so inside the C drive, I have a spreadsheet, an Excel file called users, and let's double click on this guy to open it up real quick. And like I already pre-populated information in it, I'm going to show you what each column has, so you are able to build your spreadsheet. Okay, so the spreadsheet contains the following: first name, last name, password, and groups. Now, make sure that within the first name and the last names, there is no space. So do not type in, for example, Bruce space or Wayne space, because that will cause a lot of issues. So just make sure when you type in the first name or you copy and paste the first name and last names, there is no space after the name. Okay, and whatever generic password you want. This is the password that I'm giving all these accounts. We are creating 7 accounts, and we are also but we're also adding these users into these groups. Now, these groups are already created behind the scenes: content creators, superheroes, and make sure that you're adding a semicolon, because the PowerShell is actually going to look into this column, and if it has a semicolon, it's going to jump into the other group and add that particular user that we created into that group. Okay, so these are the 7 individuals that I have. Yes, I am a huge Demon Slayer and a DC comic fan. Bruce Wayne, Batman, Barry Allen, you know, Flash, Jason Todd, you know, Robin, Dick Grayson, the original Robin. I think Jason Todd used to be Robin, but he became Red Robin. All right, so yeah, I'm getting kind of geeky. So this is the spreadsheet. Just make sure that the column names are the way that you see it, because that is how we are going to call it out within PowerShell. So we are going to exit out of this. No, not going to save it. I didn't make any modifications. I just adjusted the column So let's get into here. So the first thing that we need to do, because we're using a spreadsheet, we're not actually using a CSV file. We need to install a module to take advantage of a native spreadsheet. So to do that, we're going to do install module, and I'm going to do the tab because I love autocomplete. It makes life easy. We're going to use a switch name, and we're going to do import Excel. Awesome. From here, we're going to do a space. We're going to do a scope, and the scope is going to be the current user. You are able to do it to all users, but because I don't want anyone to use these modules on this machine, I only wanted to use it on this account that I'm logged into. The account that I'm currently logged into is Bernardo.Arocho, which is my account. I want these modules to only be available on my account. We're going to do a force, and we are also going to do a skip publisher. Hopefully I spelled that right. Publisher check. So I don't want it to check the version and stuff. So we're just gonna, as long as you have the cursor at the end, you're able to highlight it if you want, but as long as you got the cursor at the end, you are able to hit this guy right here or press F8 on the keyboard, and it will run the selection. So right now I don't have the module installed onto this machine, which is great because we're actually going to see it installed. This is one of the things I don't like about PowerShell. Like you just saw, it says completed, but that little bar, that loading bar, takes forever to disappear. I'm one of those individuals that don't have patience at all, and I would like freak out like, oh, it's stuck, it's not working, but it's imported, it's good to go. So let's hit enter the wrong way. So let's hit enter. Let's go on number 3. And now we install the module, so we need to import the module. Now there's 2 imports that we actually need to install. Active Directory, and I already have Active Directory already installed because this is one of the machines that I've used in the past live stream. So hopefully you guys know how to install the module. So we are going to do import module. Auto tab that, and we are going to do Active Directory. That's the first one. We're going to hit enter, and we're going to do another import module. Doop, doop, doop. There you go. And the next module that we're going to import would be the one that we just installed. Import Excel. Awesome. You can run both of these at the same time. I'm going to do individually. Awesome. It's importing everything that it needs, and we're going to do number 4, line number 4, which is the new module that we installed. Import Excel, and imports it for us. Beautiful. Let's hit enter a couple times. On line number 6, we are going to declare a variable. I love declaring variables. If you have been checking me out on the other live streams and dealing with PowerShell. So the first variable that we are going to call is it's going to call Excel and file path. So where is this Excel path located? Where is this spreadsheet located? So I already showed you at the very beginning, it's actually located inside my C drive. So let's go inside the C drive. Let's go here. This is the spreadsheet. So we actually got to define the path of this spreadsheet. So if you hold the shift key and you right click on the spreadsheet, it's going to give you an option to copy as path. So just select copy as path. Awesome. Let's close the file explorer. Let's go in between the open and close quotations and do a control V. Boom. Now the problem with this is once you do control V, it adds an additional open and close quotation. So just make sure you delete that rest of the stuff. And now you have defined on line 6 where the Excel file is located. Hit enter a couple times. Let's do another variable. Let's call it data. That's equal to import. We're going to use our first command within the module that we just installed, and it's going to be import Excel. And we're going to use a switch of path, and the path will be what? Yes, line number 6. So let's call out $Excel file path. Beautiful. We can actually run all this right now just to see how it looks. Let's click on clear console pane, which is going to clear downstairs for us. We are able to run line 6, right? Line 6 is just basically going to hold the path. So I'm able to just call out this attribute, and it just calls out the path. But if we run line 8, is actually going to grab the content and place it within the variable called data. So if we run the variable data by itself, you're going to see the information that's inside the spreadsheet. Awesome. Cool. Now we need to create a loop and a bunch of other things so it could go through each of the columns, grab the first entry, and start processing it the way that we want it. So we're going to actually, on line 10, we're going to do a for each. We're going to open and close parentheses. And within the open and close parentheses, let's declare a variable. Let's call it row, because we're going to go into each row in what? Data. So everything that's in data, right? It's going to go inside row. And within row, it's going to process inside the for each loop to output what we want. So from here, we're going to hit enter. We're going to do wiggly brackets, hit enter, and let's hit tab. So from here, we're going to start declaring all our roles and everything that we need to do to create our user accounts, add them to groups, and add them to the specific OU path that we want to drop them into. Now, I want to drop these guys into, I'm going to open up my Microsoft Management Console. And from here, I have the Active Directory added, right? So I want to show you guys that I'm going to be dropping everyone inside here. I don't have anyone in here. I'm going to refresh. I don't want you to think that I did magic behind the scenes. And yeah, it's going to work. It worked because you already had them behind the scenes. No, I don't have anything in here. It's empty. Now, to actually get the OU path of this particular OU, if you right click on it, you go to properties, you should see a tab called attribute editor. That's going to give you the distinguished name, which gives you the path. Now, I don't have it here. And to retrieve that within this view, if you go to view and you click on advanced features, it's going to refresh itself, right? It's going to refresh, blink a couple of times. Now, if I go into my BTNHD OU, go to users, and I right click on users and go to properties, it's going to give me the attribute editor, which is great. Got a lot of stuff, but if you filter it to show only attributes that have values, and then it kind of dumbs it down and cleans it up for you to only show you what you need. And this is what we want. So I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to copy it because we're going to be needing it pretty soon. Okay it, and then cancel. Again, I'm going to refresh. I don't have anything inside this OU. All right, so let's go back inside PowerShell. And the first one that we're going to do is $, and we're going to declare a variable called first name. This is up to you how you want to declare it. This is like old school naming scheme for me. I used to do this with C++. I used to have a professor in college that used to, when you declare variables, C++ is either the first letter of whatever is the lowercase, and then the other one is uppercase, or it was crazy, or underscores. And that kind of stuck with me because he used to like reduce your scores on your tests if you didn't have the or the variable the way that he wanted it. It's crazy. So we're going to equal to, and what's going to happen is equal to, we're going to call out row. So we're going to do $row. And remember, everything inside row is being captured within data. So we're going to do a subset. So we're actually going to do row dot and the column name. Remember, inside the spreadsheet, we have first name, last name, password, and groups. So because this variable is first name, we're going to what? Grab what? Oh, damn light. Give me one sec. Automatic lights, they go off. I gotta make movements. So yeah, so because we're doing the first variable called first name, we're going to go into what column? First name. So we're going to do first name. All right, we're going to hit enter. We're going to declare another variable, and we want to hit last name. So last name would be the same thing. So $row, right? And dot and last name. Hit enter. Okay, let me squeeze this a little bit down here. Awesome. All right, so we did the first name, last name, we captured that information. Now we need to capture the password. So let's declare a variable called password, and that's equal to $row, and what is it, the column that says password. Beautiful. Hit enter here. Now the next one that we're going to do is OU path, and that's going to be equals to open and close quotations. Inside the quotations, we're going to do a control V to copy the path that we copied within the attribute editor to that OU that we want to drop these, user accounts into. So we're going to hit enter again, and the last one that we want to do is groups. We're going to do equal, we're going to do dollar and row period, and we're going to do the groups column. And let me see something. Let me go to our file explorer, and I just want to make sure that everything is named properly, because when you call this variable right here row, the way that you have it within your spreadsheet has to match. I think I have groups, capital G with an S, plural. I just want to open it up. Yes. Password, last name, first name. Okay, cool. Let's close that up. That's good. Just want to make sure it's like that. Now, within here, right, because the column, the groups column has a semicolon, we have to add additional things to this particular variable. So we're going to declare or add a switch of split. The split, we're going to tell it to split what? The semicolon. So as soon as it has a semicolon, split it, and it's another group. Okay, so we're going to do open and close quotations. Inside the quotations, we're going to do the semicolon. Awesome. Let's hit enter a couple of times. We're going to declare another variable. This is going to be the username. This is where we define how the username is declared within Active Directory. Right now, with this example, and I've seen this in a lot of companies. A lot of companies likes to use first name period last name, or the first letter of the first name and then just last name. For this example, the login convention, or whatever you want to, the schema, or whatever you want to say, or the format would be first name period last name. That is how we are logging in, and that's typically how I have it within my environment. I have first name, last name, with a period between both of them. So you can see my username, first name, period, last name. So that is how we are going to, do our PowerShell script. So we're going to do a open parentheses and we're going to do open and close parentheses. And the reason why is because I'm going to add an additional function for this variable. So inside here, we're going to call $ first name, and we're going to do a plus. We're going to do an open and close quotations. We're going to do a plus, and then we're going to call out last name. Awesome. And then inside the open and close quotation is the period. So it would be first name, no space, right? Period, last name, boom. Now, the reason why I put them inside a parentheses is because I want to use a sub function, and that sub function would be to lower set. So regardless, in the spreadsheet, right, the first letter of the first name or the first letter of the last name is uppercase, right? So for example, Bruce Wayne, capital B, capital W. But for the username, we don't want it to have a capital B and a capital W. So we want the entire username to be lowercase, right? So it'd be lowercase b, lowercase w. That's the reason why I'm using this. So we're gonna have it enter here. Let me scroll a little bit so you guys are able to see. Let's do a $, and we're going to declare another variable, and the variable that we're going to declare would be display name. And because we want the display name, if I go in here, and I don't have any users, but inside here, so let's go inside users, let's go here. So the display name is this. So this is what we're entering right now. That's the display name. And then we're also going to fill up the email address. And if we go into accounts, there you go. So by default, you know, lowercase, everything is lowercase. That is how we want it to be set. Okay. I don't have an email here, but within this PowerShell, we're going to add an email to it. And then whatever members are, you know, we want those accounts to be into. All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So let's minimize that. And the display name would be open and close quotations. And from here, we're going to do first name. Right, we're going to give it a space, right? Display name, first name, space, last name, $, and it will be last name. Awesome. So that's the display. We're going to hit enter, and now we're going to declare another variable called email, and then the email would be whatever format that you want. So we're actually going to do it open and close quotations, and the open and close quotations inside here, we're going to declare, or we're going to call out username, because that's actually going to give the full username, which would be first name period last name, and then you have to do at where, what's your domain? My domain is btnhd.edu. Boom. All right, so we got the email, we got that all declared, we're good to go. It is time for us to actually create the account. Now, to create the account, we're going to use a command within the Active Directory module, and that command would be new AD user. I'm gonna hit tab to autocomplete. Boom. And we're gonna hit space. Now this could be a one-liner, one straight one-liner, like it's a long command, but we're actually gonna hit the tick, which is the right next to the one, right? You get that little tick that allows you to hit enter and continue the command to the next line. So from here, one of the switches for the new AD user is given name. So the given name would be what? $, first name. Boom. We're gonna hit space. We're gonna hit the little tick, and we're gonna hit enter. Now I'm gonna hit tab a couple of times because I actually want to. So I hit tab and then I hit the direction key on the left one time because I want to keep everything like nicely lined up. So like that. So the next one that we're going to do is surname. And the surname is going to be $ what? Surname would be your last name, so it would be last name. So you're calling out the last name attribute. We're going to hit space, and we're going to hit the little tilde, whatever little, I don't even know what that name is. So we're going to hit enter here. That's going to bring it down. And we're going to just continue adding more to this command. So we're going to do another dash. We're going to use another switch, and the switch that we're going to use would be name. And we are going to do open and close quotations, and we're going to do $ display name. Okay. We're going to hit space, hit that little tilde, which is right next to the number 1. Hit enter. We're going to do another switch of Sam. Oops. This down a little bit. Awesome. Let's hit that. Awesome. We're going to do Sam account, and the Sam account would be the username. So let's call out username. Awesome. Space and that little dash. Hit enter. The next switch that we're going to use for the new AD user account would be user principal name. So user backspace user. Come on. User principal, okay, name. Hit that tab, and then from here we're going to do open and close quotations, and it would be $ email. Okay, and we are going to hit space. We're going to hit the tab. We're going to hit enter. Another switch that we are going to use would be display name. So let's use display name. Tab to autocomplete. Hit the space $ display name space little tilde or whatever you call that. Hit enter. Let me scroll down a little bit so you guys could have a better look. We're going to do the email, so it's going to be another switch, email address, tab to autocomplete, and we're going to call out our email variable, space, and boom, and then enter. Now we are going to use another switch which is path, and the path will be, the path is where you want to drop the user account. So for us would be OU right? Because we declared it over here in line 15. Okay, line 15, this is where the user accounts are going to be dropped into. Let's hit space, a little whatever you call it, and we're going to do another switch for this command, and it's going to be account password. And we need to actually, within account password, we need to do the following. So we're going to do a open and close quotation. Inside the open and close quotations, we're going to do a convert to secure string, and we're going to call our password, right? Password, beautiful. Our password is basically this right here. It's being grabbed within the spreadsheet. We're going to hit space, and we need to do as a plain text, and we're going to force it. Awesome. Let's go at the very end, and we're going to hit space. Nice little tabby thingy, whatever you call it, hit enter. And the last one that there's more switches within the new AD user command. I mean, there's a crap load of them. This is like really basic, but I would say look into the new AD user command lit. There's like a crap load. You can continuously add and even upgrade your spreadsheet, and I will provide you the skeleton of what I'm doing here, and then you're able to modify and make modifications. If you do make modifications to fit your environment and you're adding more stuff to your new AD user or getting really fancy with it and doing other things, please, hit me up. I would like to see how you're converted this into something else. That'd be great. The next one would be we're going to do enable, because we need to enable our account, and we're going to make that as true. Beautiful. Now within here, let's hit enter a couple of times. I'm gonna backspace a couple of times, because within here what we are going to do is we're still within the for each loop. So we're going to create another for each loop to start adding our users into the groups they need to be into. So let's do for each. We're going to do open and close parentheses. Inside the open and close parentheses, we're going to define a variable called group in groups. Now groups, it's already defined. We defined it here, right? So whatever's inside the groups column, and we're splitting it with the comma, it's going to get dropped into this variable. And now we need to go inside this for each and start creating the magic. So let's do a little wiggly bracket to open it up. And give me 1 second. All right. Awesome. We are going to call out our group, and that's going to be equal to $group. And we're going to do a sub function of trim. Yeah. Group. And trim. Group. Yeah. Dollar equals trim. Open and close. And then within here, we're going to do an if, because if it's not equal to, if it doesn't have anything, it's not going to add anything. So it's just going to constantly loop itself until it finds something. So we're going to do if, and the reason why we're doing if there's nothing inside the groups column, hey, bypass it, go to the next one. That's what we want. So let's do it, open and close parentheses for the if, and we're going to call out group. We're going to do a dash of NE. Now NE stands for not equal to. If it's not equal to open and close quotations, which is nothing, that's what we want. We are going to hit enter. If it does have something in it, if it does have something in it, it's gonna do something. If it doesn't, it's gonna bypass this if and just continue looping until it finds something inside that column, and then it's gonna do something. So we're gonna open wiggly again with the light. Give me 1 sec. Gives me an opportunity to actually stretch my legs and get some water. Yes, thank you for the light. Okay, so we open the wiggly bracket within the if statement. We're going to hit enter. We're going to hit the tab. And now we're going to use another commandlet within the Active Directory module. And that is going to be add AD group member, auto tab to autocomplete. We're going to use the switch of identity. And it is going to be the group, right? Whatever's inside groups. Right, groups is what's the column of the spreadsheet. It's gonna get entered here and it's gonna drop it inside groups. Whatever's here, it's gonna be here. Boom. And we are going to do a members, and the username. Right, boom. We're going to hit enter here, and you are able to write whatever you want to write. So let's write host. Boom. We're going to do a foreground, so it can look all nice and colorful. Let's do red, and open and close quotations. And within the text, what's going to be produced, we are going to add added username. So whatever the person's username is going to show it. Added Bruce.Wayne to group $group. Okay. So from here, we're going to hit enter. We're going to backspace. We're going to close that wiggly. Now, this wiggly here is going to close the if statement. We're going to hit enter one more time. We're going to backspace, and then we're going to close the for each wiggly. Okay, so this wiggly is for the if. This wiggly right here is for the if statement. This wiggly right here closes the for each. Now, outside here, we are going to do another write, because now this write host is still within the for each. We're still within this for each right here, and we haven't closed it. We haven't finished it. So let's create another write host, and let's do a foreground color of yellow, and let's do open and close quotations. And this write host is basically going to tell you whether or not the user account was created, right? This write host is for this for each loop. This for each number 10. So within the open and close quotations, let's do created user $username. So it would be created user Bruce.Wayne, and added, right, to a specified groups. All right, you're able to do whatever you want here. It is up to you. And we're going to hit enter. We're going to backspace all the way to the end, number 43, and now we're going to do a wiggly bracket. Now this wiggly bracket on number 43 is basically closing the entire for each loop. If you want, on line 44, you can actually do another write host. Right? Let's do a foreground color of green. And once everything is completed, you want something to happen. So let's do it open and close quotations. You could just, if this is really up to you, you don't really need to do the number 44, but why not? Let's script execution is completed. Is completed, period. Boom. Let's, well, we can save this. Let's save it. And let's put it into the desktop. And create users and save. All right, cool. So this is the script. So let's run it. Let's clear downstairs. I want to show you guys there's no magic scenes. I don't have anyone in the background right now creating the accounts for me. So we're going to right click and refresh. There's no one in here at all. So let's cross the fingers. Let's see if everything works out. We already did number 1. We already did 3 and 4. We already imported the module, so we don't need to do that. We did 6 and 7. 6 and 8. We already did that, but for the hell of it, let's do it one more time. Let's select that and run it. I'm gonna select line 10 and go all the way down to line 44. Just select everything, and let's click on start. There goes. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice. Added Bruce Wayne to group content creator. Added Bruce Wayne to group superheroes. It gives you yellow, stating that is completed. It goes to the next one. It goes to the next one. It goes to the next one. And then at the end, script execution completed. Because I already did the loops, it went to the if out. It went to the second for each group, and within the for each group, I should show you rather than me going over it. Yeah, so it went through all this process. It grabbed all the information from the spreadsheet, and then once it gets here, it's going to create the account, which is great. But once it gets here to the column with the groups, it's going to add all the groups from the spreadsheet, right? This variable right here holds it. It's going to drop it in here. It's going to trim it. Once it trims it, it basically does like an if statement. Now the if statement is basically stating if it's not blank, do this. If it is blank, hey, go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one. And that's what we got. Now, the way we know everything works, if we minimize this, we're going to open up my management console. I'm going to right click on it, and I am going to do a refresh, and there goes our accounts. Yes. So we created 7 accounts. Super easy, super simple. We double click on one of them, Jason Todd. It's going to give us everything that we want. Let me zoom in for you guys. So first name, last name, make sure there's no spaces within the spreadsheet because it will cause problems. That email is displayed the way that I want it. Beautiful. If we go to accounts, awesome. Jason.Todd, beautiful. Excellent. If you want, you could actually upgrade the spreadsheet to I think within the new AD user, there is a switch that allows you to check this off. Again, I'm going to give you guys the backbone of the spreadsheet that, not the spreadsheet, but I'm going to give you the backbone of the PowerShell script that we just created together. And if you make any type of modifications or you even add more into it, hit me up. I would love to see what you guys do with it. And that's about it with this episode. Pretty simple, short and sweet. PowerShell, creating multiple AD accounts using a spreadsheet. Who doesn't love that? This is great, especially if you have like a bunch of people coming in and you just don't want to do this. This is like the worst. Imagine 3 people, not even 3 people, let's say 5 people are being hired, right? And you want to get all of these 5 people done. Would you rather just right click on the OU where they're supposed to go and go to new, and then you got to go to user, and then you got to type in the information, and then you got to do that, and you got to go next, and then that's crazy. Now you are able to update the spreadsheet to, let's say if you do have 5 users, you're actually able to update the PowerShell to drop these AD users into different OUs. All you have to do is just create a column within your spreadsheet, all right, and just define where that user needs to be inside the OU, and then just modify the PowerShell to loop and just drop it into, and then you're good to go. I mean, there's so many ways that you're able to update this, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, I don't know. Thank you so much for those that are online watching me, checking me out, and I catch you guys on the next episode 80. Wow. All right, so how do you end this? Because I always forget. Is it over now? All right, guys, check you guys later.